A shell. You might need to close just the window maybe behind you, or I can try and move. So you might have to just close the window behind you, or maybe I'm gonna have to move. I just don't know if we're gonna hear each other.
I was gonna say I'll do headphones though.
Oh, if you have headphones, we're great then. Awesome. Good morning.
Good morning.
You're the first one in today. You beat Kristina.
Hey.
Kristina, you lose.
Huh?
She was the first one in 3 weeks in a row.
Oh.
Lor's about her huge, about number 3. What's going on, lady?
Ooh, that's a rough one for me this morning. I don't know what's wrong with me.
I think you're the first one with sweaty hair.
Yeah. Oh no, those bands.
I'm so happy we have those back.
Yeah, they're, you miss them. Well, I say I miss them, but whew.
Yeah, when Mickey sent the workout over, it seemed like it was going to be a straight emphasis on one area. Glutes and hips would be fried.
Yeah.
Does anyone else have coffee? Tea? Kristina, right? Tea?
Tea.
Like it. Protein shake is the win.
Mm-hmm.
Who's got the TV on? What are we watching?
Oh, it's my grandson playing a game. I'll mute me. Sorry.
No, you're good. It's not that loud now. It's when some other people start doing like their protein shakes and stuff that it gets a little loud. We had Esteban and I do that group with the gym owners, and this guy got on yesterday, and I totally understand how people feel now, like when I'm talking, but this kid was 26 years old. He must have gone like 5-6 minutes straight, and we're like, and so what's the question? And like, then it still took like 2 more minutes to say the question. It was like, I couldn't believe all in one breath how much this kid had to say. But we were at the point, I was messaging Esteban. I'm like, should we mute him just so we can ask a question? Like, what do we do here? So like, we highly considered muting this guy, but we let him finish. But anyway, it was just energy, but it was cool to see it from the other side. Good morning, Sandy.
Good morning, Derek.
What is up? Miss Tina, beautiful window. Hey. Oop. Something was cracking in that microphone. Michelle's getting on. You guys were the originals. Just remember this. All that you're doing here right now, watch all these people coming in that are first timers today.
They're really sensitive. And even when I bite into
great, though. People keep seeing the replay and they're like, oh, that was so good. I can't believe I missed it. Damn it.
Morning, Derek. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Oh, the whole crew there. Good morning. Oh, Cindy too. Who's that to the right? I can't see the person who's. Oh, Jeannie. Okay.
It's me,
Oh, Rhonda. Hi.
Rhonda. And Belinda.
Caitlin's coming on.
Hello. I told her I had a little.
Zamet, can you hear us now? All right, Kelly Hanley.
Hi.
I love it. Zamet, can you hear now? All right, Hope coming in. I was getting ready to write a note to unmute yourself, and it looks like she's good. Who else we just have there? I saw another name pop up.
Myself. This is a long one.
Good morning, Kelly. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
You look like you got dressed for this. You're supposed to be in pajamas or workout clothes. That's the only 2 options.
Well, so many Zoom meetings now, and they see what I look like. So yeah, I got dressed.
You're too pretty for this early in the morning. I was gonna say, Laura just got on here all sweaty and everything. Me, Kathy, and Kristina are comfortable in Jam Jam still.
I don't know. I can't even do anything.
You get confused.
Fever.
What's everybody got going on? What's new this week? Who wants to go first?
There we go.
Caroline, you're unmuted. I'm calling you out. How was this week for you?
This week was really good. Ever since you helped me out with my fitness pal, my weight has been going down.
Nice. Do you think it was just controlling the amount and portions, or was it more along the lines of
I think I was eating way too much fat before.
that's possible.
So I never did eat a lot of carbs, but I was doing more fat with my protein. So now I just kind of cut back on the fat, and it's been just.
I don't know what the actual code is.
Yeah, that's the one thing I think a lot of people get into a habit. Like if you've done a low carb diet, that's what I was going to ask you, but you answered it. It's if you do a low carb diet in the past, like we get used to eating a lot of fats as snacks and stuff in between, but then we actually start like getting carbs and we're finding balance. What we don't realize is those fats still start to creep in, and they end up being such a big percentage, especially when they're 9 calories compared to 4 and that type of thing.
Yeah, so I think that made all the difference.
Where's Miss Lor? How are you doing this week, lady? You were the second, or I'm sorry, Kristina. No, you were the second one in. How are you doing, Kristina?
I'm doing better, I've noticed. I haven't weighed myself because I'm not allowed to have my scale yet. So my son hit it for me. So, but other people have said they've noticed I've lost weight. I'm still going under my caloric goal. Like I'm supposed to do 1,200, but I'm usually between 100 and 400 under. But I'm doing pretty good with my protein and my fat and carbs.
Hey guys, background, could you mute it, please? I'm trying to set up headphones. I'm so sorry. I get that. Kristina, were you able to get the protein shake in?
No, not yet. I was told to wait. I'm going to I got to go on base on
Hey
Wednesday.
guys, hold on 1 second, guys. Hold on. Somebody's got like a blender going.
I hear cars.
Yeah. I was trying to find who it was. Of course, now it's quiet.
I have a lawnmower in my backyard.
Oh, maybe it was you. I'm looking. I'm like the only one lit up.
Maybe
So I didn't get the protein. Are you waiting on something, or is there?
I have to go on base on Wednesday, and so I was told to go on base and get my protein shake there because it would be cheaper, obviously, with the whole military thing. So I'm going to check their price there, and if it's less than that Amazon one, then I'm going to pick it up. If not, I'm going to order off of Amazon.
Yeah. Biggest thing too is try variety. You know, it's you can't. Everybody's taste is so different. One person, like the people Pro Select, I think it was called, or Select Pro or something. Some people like Rule 1. I like Dimetized. So like, and each one of those could try the other protein and hate it. And I mean, it's so amazing how contrasting, I think everybody's palate.
The biggest, I don't mean to interrupt. The biggest thing with protein too that we found is you do not want to cheap out on your protein because it will be gritty and nasty and probably give you explosive diarrhea.
Oh,
It's true. I mean, it is because they'll start.
Major gas.
Yeah, or gas. They'll like start adding like cheap fillers into it, and it's not nice on the tum tum. So. And good morning, everyone. By the way, I was a little late to the meeting. Good morning. Story of my life these days.
Get some first timers in here. It's cool.
I do a protein shake for breakfast every single morning.
That's awesome, Mary Beth.
Now, what do you put in it?
I put in vanilla, Walmart brand protein powder, like 30 grams. I use a half a serving of Greek yogurt, a half a cup of almond milk, and 2 ounces of berries.
So that's where I was going to go with that. That's awesome. So one of the things too, like Kristina, is like just this week until you get that protein, just increase each serving by an ounce or 2, and you'll start seeing that creep up. Mary Beth, with the Greek yogurt, if you put those in like the old school ice cube trays and freeze them, you can put that in the blender and it'll actually make like a really creamy, like frothier drink going that way instead of diluting with ice.
I use ice.
As if you know you have music on or something, if you could mute yourself.
Yeah, hold on.
I hear Ashanti.
I have no idea. Is that Hope listen to Ashanti? The frozen strawberries, yeah, and also a great idea. Actually, I just had frozen blueberries this morning as a snack.
Yeah, that's what I had this morning was blueberry.
All right, third in the room was Lor. Lor, what you got going on for the week?
I did okay. I don't know why I had a problem with protein this week. Problem eating protein, and I just said last time we were on here, you asked me, well, what do you do, Laura, when you didn't get enough protein? I forget it was having a hard time all their protein, and I said just have another cake. Well, I said
You're not doing it.
So did I? I don't know why. I have no explanation. I don't know.
Yeah, it's tough. I live with like the protein like empress in my house, and like it's what I struggle with most. So, you know, I get it, guys.
But I was going to say with you, Lor, you're pretty good though with prepping, like with grilling chicken and fish. So, I mean, are you still eating like a good amount of protein? You're just not supplementing as much with shakes?
Yeah, the problem is my lovely husband has been home for almost a month. Okay, I'm ready for so I haven't been doing the meal prepping like I usually do, which I would do once a week, and then I'm set to go. So it's more like what I'm having for dinner tonight. So that's part of my problem. It's easy when I do his meals for the road because I prep everyone's. But since he's been home for a month, it's really got me off my routine.
Off your game.
Lor, give me 1 second. Guys, I'm going to mute everyone. And Lor, you're unmuted now. Yeah, so it's funny, guys. Like, it took like a year ago for it to click for Lor. Like, she was talking at PT one day about how she like food preps for her dog. She food preps for her husband who goes out of town, and yet she never prepped for herself. So it's hard when you lose structure with that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, so I was off track a little bit this week, but.
So let's ask you this. You grill in advance. Can you eat cold meat, or you don't like cold meat?
I can, but I'll just like reheat it. I can eat some stuff cold, but yeah, I guess I get used to it. I just reheat it up, you know.
Well, what I was going to say is just have it ready in portions, because like even if it's just like instead of just having a whole chicken breast, if you cut it up, like I'm the king of scissors, like I don't even use a knife anymore, but like just cut everything up so you have like your strips of chicken in your Tupperware. And even if it's just something where instead of having to have a whole meal, it's like sometimes you can just look and you'll be like, oh, I'll have a couple, I'll heat that up, I'll have that with this or whatever. But, you know, sometimes it's so less convenient to have protein, and that's why we don't do it. So maybe doing something like that.
I'm sure that's part of the problem, and I'm going to just have to get back on track with that prepping again.
Or jerky, or having like the egg white, like souffle things where you just kind of pre-make those. You know, those guys, if for anybody who hasn't made those before, but like just using like a muffin tin, you just mix up like your egg whites and everything, fill each of the muffin tins up, and then you can put any type of veggies or meat or anything you want like that, bake them at like 350 for 10 minutes, and there's tons of recipes online. But then you have like something that's pre-made and like single portion size, but I don't know if you do something like that.
Yeah, I think I need to just get creative again. I'm just not used to, I know this sounds so bad, but I'm not used to having my other half at home all the time. And it's just been hard to I don't know why. I'm ready for him to go back to work. I'll just say it. You know.
Does anybody else have that same feeling about somebody in their house? I can see everybody's hands right now. Yeah. Monica's so chill. Look at her. She's like, nope. I work out every day, and that's what brings me sanity. Caroline, you were third or fourth, I'm sorry. Anything going on with you, Miss Caroline? I'm going to unmute you there, sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say, when I do eat all the protein, I almost can't eat 12, even 1,100 calories. It's hard to eat 1,100 calories if you eat all your protein.
Yeah, and that's where it's like, if you really focus on getting your protein, you can really like mess up a lot of your other stuff that you do, because, you know, again, your volume that you can take in is going to make it, you know, limited. But if you do your protein and your vegetables, imagine how much more flexibility we would have, guys. It's like, fill your body up.
Yeah, it's hard to eat enough calories almost.
So we went through, you sent your MyFitnessPal, but I think just the one day, and then I saw it on your thread there. But it seems like, again, everybody is having the same issues where it's like going over on those fats and just a little bit under on protein. If you look at that, guys, but your calories is still dead on, like that's okay. Just because the percentages aren't perfect, like it's okay. Because I think your fat was like 50 something grams or whatever, and it was like 70 something and 80. But when you look at it, if your calories are good, you're fine, guys.
Yeah, we ordered out last night, and I still was able to eat that and stay within my calories.
Wow, that's awesome.
Because I ate,
Those are
yeah,
wins.
fish. I ordered fish, you know, but it had a hollandaise sauce on it, whatever. So it had more fat, but the calories were still okay.
If you make it all work, it's good. And again, like we all have our vices, and that's where you got to make it fit to your lifestyle. And that's why following a paper diet doesn't work. But no, it's cool. That's a win. Tina, you just walked away. You got your spot skip. Peace.
Bye, Tina.
Mary Beth. All right, Mary Beth, you came prepared with a question. I know you did. Hold on, I can't unmute you though. All right, you get skipped too. Kathy Ranus, how you doing, ma'am? Hold on, let me unmute you.
Oh, I'm a hot mess.
I love it.
Yeah.
Talk to me.
So tell us more.
I don't eat enough protein for sure. I don't eat enough, but I don't even know if I'm doing it right. Have you looked at my thing?
I looked at so many, I was brainwashed, but yes, I will go back and make sure I add that.
No, it's not good.
Well,
are you
here's the
having
thing.
protein with any of your meals though, or are you doing a post-workout shake, or are you just not having any?
No, I do have protein, but it's never enough.
Okay.
And I'm not gonna lie, I don't drink the protein shakes.
Yeah, and I think you probably don't put your coffee drinks on there too. But
I like some of them I do. Not all of them. I could put protein in this.
Yes.
Oh.
That's really honest. That's a great idea. I know, I think it was Kristen Zammit who started it. It's like Premier Protein. It's like the little protein. Derek, what are they called?
I don't know. I unmuted her, so I'm kicking ass as a moderator. Zammit, you're on. We can hear you, but it looks like she's going to go get one in her house.
I am. I'm gonna go get
hair's
one.
flowing in the wind.
Yeah. I'm fast. I'm a hot mess. You woke my ass up this morning, so.
Oh, I think
I sent some reminder text to some people this morning, so thank you for being on. Denise Johnson, we see you.
Oh, Premier. Oh, okay. I think I've seen that.
Yeah.
And that's caramel flavor.
And then you add that
savings
like
right now.
creamer, right? Zammit.
Yeah, I just
coffee.
use, because one of them, if you like more, I like a little coffee with my creamer kind of person, then you can, I use one shake for 2 cups of coffee. So like it's just kind of, or you throw it over ice if you like it iced.
Ooh, that might work. Yeah, I don't know. I like coffee, a little creamer with my coffee.
Then you can make 4 cups of coffee.
Then you're just drinking coffee all day, Kathy.
But if you do have powdered protein too, Kathy, you can always try like a half a scoop in your coffee. They actually have like these little mixers that you can do that like mixes up the coffee and the protein powder, so there's no like clumps or anything like that. And it's actually really good, and it shouldn't be like over creamy if you like more of a coffee flavor. But that's an easy way to get protein in. Because how many cups of coffee do you drink a day?
Listen to her a lot.
I drink a lot. I don't drink, I don't smoke, so I got to do something.
That's your vice.
It's either that or I'm eating sugar.
You're totally right, though.
Yeah.
So these are like I don't know if we can see that from there, but these are like little electric things that you can whip up your coffee with.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm sending you a link now.
Okay. But check my calories too, because I don't know if that's right.
I did write your name down. Guys, as we go through, if you need me to check your stuff, please do. But I plan on going through every single person's. I did it Tuesday night. So I went through the first 2 days, gave the recap, and then I haven't gone through, I guess, in the last 3. So we'll definitely get to all those. Tina, we'll come back to you. What's up, Miss Tina? Oh, you have to unmute yourself. You have me locked. Anything going on with you, Tina Jones?
I wish I knew what my fat percentage was because my weight doesn't change much.
So great. That's a perfect spot to go off on. I think it was Caroline last week. You were saying that you were eating right on and not losing, right? I think it was you who said it. Yeah. So Tina, you now have a data point. If you're eating the same thing and you're not losing, now you need to drop that. So the whole idea is like, I would take it down probably 250 calories a day. And that's going to put you at about a half pound a week. Yep, create a deficit, exactly. So like 3,500 calories a week is a pound of fat, technically. So if you can burn 250 extra calories a day and you can intake 250 less calories a day. Then you basically have your 500 calorie a day deficit for 7 days. That's 1 pound of fat every week, ideally. So,
And
no, go ahead, Sean.
sorry.
Perfect.
No, and
I love having you on here.
Too, with your metabolism, Tina, like especially for us women, like our metabolism slows down with age and with our hormones. So again, too, if you're kind of tweaking numbers, so you never kind of hit that plateau, it kind of kicks your metabolism into high gear, you know, along with creating that deficit. But if you change your fat numbers and drop them, I mean, you can even play around and maybe even go up a little bit higher in carbs. But again, it kind of keeps your metabolism guessing and constantly like running. So it never hits that like plateau either.
Well, I did, when I did that other challenge, I was at 2,100 calories and now I'm at 15.
1,500?
Yeah,
Yeah. And you're definitely hitting your protein numbers each day?
barely. It's
See,
hard.
here's the one thing. I wouldn't drop lower than 1,500. That's way too low for you, Tina. Like, that's like
I was going to
somebody
say, yeah,
ahead,
maybe
go.
your body's like conserving. If anything, maybe it's too low. Because the body, again, I mean, it knows what to do. And if it's not intaking enough, it's going to hang on to any sort of like food source that you take in, because it's like, wait, I don't know if I'm going to like get enough, like, I don't know how to expand on that.
Yeah. Well, think on this, Tina. So like if you're not providing enough fuel and then you're also not providing enough protein, that means you're providing a lot of fats and a lot of carbs. So if you're doing that, you're basically giving inconsistent energy to your body all day long. Some really slow, some really fast, some really slow, some really fast, and you're not fueling your body like consistently. And that's where, if you think of it along the lines of a fire, like your log is your protein. So just make sure you're keeping that fueled. But I would take that 1,500. You probably need to go up to 1,700, I would say. So sometimes it's not lowering calories. Like our contest athletes end up eating more and more calories throughout their 20-week period. And I mean, they're eating crazy amounts of food.
The most food you've ever eaten.
Yeah,
before
and when they hit a
life.
plateau, we don't drop food. We add calories and we add cardio, or we add calories and we add a body part specific workout, but we never take calories away like when the body's actually burning. When you first start, we definitely want to take calories away because you want to create some sort of deficit. But like at this point, yeah, I mean, Tina, you're the most consistent person. You have a ton of muscle. Like you're at 1,500. That's way too low. Yeah, I mean, I could look it up in just a second here, but I'm guessing your lean muscle has to be at least like 150 or more. So that would put you at like 1,650 for calories, or at least like somewhere in that range to 1,700.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, good learning lesson. I mean, it's okay. I mean, it's awesome that you've been consistent, but now we at least have a data point. We know you're not going to change your exercise consistency because you're always good on that. So now it's like, let's tweak the food a little bit. I would, if you're not hitting your protein numbers, I wouldn't raise your calories first. I would hit your protein numbers for the 1,500 calories. Once you can start consistently doing that, then go back up to 1,700. Because we don't want to just give it 200 extra calories of BS. You know, we want to make sure it's good, clean source.
Well, what I've been doing since the quarantine is I'll get up and I'll do the morning workout and I won't break my fast. It used to be at noon, but now that we do Zoom, it's more like 10:30.
That's great.
I take the protein shake right after I work out.
Yep. No, it's great. Just, you know, again, when you fast, you have a shorter window to hit those numbers, but you still have to hit the numbers. So, you know, focus, make this week the goal. Forget even the calorie number for this week, because you might notice, like Caroline, if you start hitting that protein number, you can't even eat the 1,500 that you've been eating. So just focus on one number in vegetables this week. Let's get the body digesting properly, and then we'll go to the next step. And like last week, we talked about, like, even though fruit isn't necessarily ideal for long-term fuel, if you do need to try and hit your carb numbers next week, but you're not hungry enough to eat rice or something like that, maybe try fruit. So goal next week, protein, then vegetables, and then fruit, and then like the rest of your carbohydrates and fats. Sound cool? We lost Mary Beth. Oh, no, she's down at the bottom now.
I'm here.
Okay. Well, you're out of my order, but you are next. So go ahead. What's up, lady? What do you got for this week?
Oh, well, I redid my lean body the other day on a scale. So, like, I lost, like, 125 calories a day in my...
Okay. Yeah, you lost lean body mass, so you're saying?
That's what the scale said. I used Rhonda's scale, and we did it, you know.
Yeah.
With all that stuff.
And what was the time range of when you tested on that scale last?
I never did that scale. It was always
Okay.
your scale.
Gotcha. So let's do this. Whatever your number was the last time you got measured with us, let's just assume it's the same number as what that number is today, because you have to calibrate that too. Because what if it's like 3 points higher, 3 points lower for body fat, or what if, you know?
Right. Yeah, because
Yeah,
it's been
so
like 2 months since I've done it.
of course. And you've lost how many pounds during that time?
I've lost like 23 pounds since
In those
January.
2 months? Well, what about in those 2 months since
I've
you got
lost
measured last?
In 6 weeks, I've lost 8 pounds.
It's awesome.
6 weeks, 8 pounds. Okay.
So in the last 6 weeks, yeah.
And do you mind sharing what you weighed before like quarantine?
Before quarantine, on your scales, I believe I was 211. It was the last time I weighed in with you guys, like February, at the beginning of this challenge.
Okay, so let's do this. On your, and I'll text this and screenshot this to you now. Just take whatever your last body fat was with me, and we're gonna subtract 3.79%. All I did was take the 8 pounds you've lost divided by your previous weight, and you've lost about 3.7% of your total weight. We're just gonna assume it's all fat.
From the 211, I'm down 16 pounds.
I don't know what the 211 is. What do you mean?
211 is when I weighed in with you guys.
Oh,
At the beginning of the challenge, right?
Sorry. I lost you on that. So I need to subtract 11, and it was 208. So I would subtract then 5% body fat of what you did with us last, instead of using that new scale. And what you can do is whatever 5% of what you measured with us last is, that's what your new scale, try and calibrate those. So say like 5% less than what you weighed in with us last was, say you were 45%, you went to 40%, and your new scale says 38, just assume that those are the same numbers then. And until we get back in and you can measure with ours, we'll be able to like obviously calibrate a little better.
Right.
Yeah, but I definitely would not take away calories, so no way.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to assume this is all fat that you've lost because we have no other way to know for sure. So we'll subtract, it'll be 5% body fat off of that, and then we can refigure those numbers. But I'm sending you the screenshot now, so it's at least a reminder to me, and I'm writing your name down as well.
Okay. Yeah, but my question was, you know, they say that you should eat like a certain number of servings of fruit, a certain number of servings of vegetables every day, like 4 or whatever.
Who's
like,
they?
I don't get like 1 or 2 of each in. Does it?
Who are these people?
Well, I would say you certainly obviously always want to try to eat as many vegetables as you can in the day. And I'm sure, as you know, like Derek says, like vegetables are a free food. Like you don't need to track them in your MyFitnessPal. Like you're never going to gain weight by eating too much lettuce and tomatoes. Fruit would be kind of where you want to like monitor and limit, because again, it is a carb. So, but again, if like what he was talking about with Tina, if you want to replace instead of rice, some more fruit in your diet, you certainly can. But as far as having to have a certain amount of servings per day of each, I don't know.
Yeah, and you got to remember too, like a serving size. Like, when's the last time somebody actually had cereal and they like saw what a serving size is? Like, so like what
I just
they
had a
say
bowl
is,
and I did not pay attention to the serving size.
That's not enough.
yeah, so think of that, like, again, think of that in the terms of vegetables. Like, I never eat like this much salad. Like, you always make a bowl, so you're probably having 3 or 4 servings if you cut up some tomatoes and you put some other stuff. So, you know, I wouldn't overjudge yourself on that, but the key thing is like making sure you're getting it. You know, your digestion tells you everything. So if you're not digesting well, it's because you're probably missing something like that, you know. But listen to your body, and fluids, obviously, of course, water.
Yes.
Anything else on that, or we're cool? I would just eat as much as you can that fits in your numbers. And remember, vegetables are like unlimited. Just, you know, the more you eat them, the better your body's going to respond. You know, you guys are home. If you have Netflix, watch that Game Changers documentary. You know, it really had an ulterior motive, but it's all about basically becoming like a vegan, vegetarian, that type of thing. Of course, you find out at the end, it's basically produced by people who own vegan companies, own like rights to all sorts of different things related to it. So they had I guess, an ulterior motive. But the thing that we took away from it is like vegetables make you really healthy and fruits make you really healthy. So, you know, we need to consume those things. And I think we get caught up in protein because like that is like the lifeblood, but it doesn't mean that, you know, it's everything. Like we got to make sure your digestion's on point. And like, if your body can't break down that protein, there's no point in even eating it. So, you know, you got to have those things with it. It's all balance. Cool. Next, what we got, Miss Hope. Do you have anything for us, Miss Hope Rozzi? No? Oh,
Gotta have
you
something.
unmuted me. I muted you. Go ahead.
I'll be honest, my cheat meals have been a lot more since this whole thing.
More frequent?
Yeah.
Is it because you're not cooking at home?
No, I'm cooking. It's just like I got it all in like my head because, you know, I had plans to compete this year. And then when the reality set in that there's not going to be a competition, I was like, well, I'm just eat whatever.
With yourself, yeah.
Yeah. So I've been downing some DiGiorno pizzas and. Yeah.
Oh, if you could have seen all the reactions to DiGiorno right there. They're like, Xana went, ooh, Monica's eyes lit up. Caroline made a reaction. Like, it was physical for some people there.
I love pizza.
It's awesome, though. Like, listen, Hope, like, here's the thing, though, is like, if next year is now your competition, the biggest thing for you, like we talked about, is being able to have enough muscle. Like, it's great to diet down, but like, those ladies on stage, like, also have a lot of muscle. So, like, this is your time. Maybe eat a little bit more, but like, start lifting. You know, it's like, it's
one dumbbell.
We can get, guys, now that everybody's gotten some, but there are a few more. Like, there's some different weights. Like, we've been getting like it's a heavier one for some people that need it for like squats or something like that. But yeah, I mean, that's the biggest thing, is like, I think now is your time to like focus on like the body part that you want to, you know, either make stand out or you need to cover up the most. Like, whatever your fears were of competing this year, like, what was that part in the bikini that you're like, oh, I don't know if it'll be ready? Like, now's your time to work on it. If it was me, I'd be doing like 1,000 calf raises a day.
I mean, I'm still, thank God, like, I actually lost weight. But
really?
I've lost
Stress
like 5
weight?
pounds. Yeah.
Nice.
I lost 5 pounds and then I gained 2 of it back eating pizza. So.
Fucking DiGiorno. So here's the thing, like, it all comes down to goals. Like, we had a couple different talks this week about like goals, but like, what is the biggest thing you want to work towards right now? Because it's not the same goals. Like, where everybody might have been all about the transformation, now it's almost about like conservation of like, let's not slip anymore. But that way, when it comes time to like push the gas, like, we're ready. So like, what's the goals right now then, if you're not going to compete this year?
I think I just, like, I'm actually happy with the number on the scale. I just want to tone up, I think. And like you said, focus more on the workouts. It's been really hard for me to establish a routine because I was kind of beating myself up about it because I was doing PT and I was doing everyday boot camp and I was doing multiple boot camps a day.
You were so regimented.
And now I'm even dragging sometimes to just log into the Zoom workout. It's frustrating, to be honest.
So let's pick two body parts, Hope. What are 2 things you want to focus on?
Probably my arms.
So you say stomach and arms. I'm sorry, I broke up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you have a sheet of paper next to you, or?
No? I have a phone. I can.
That's cool. We're all smart enough in this group. But let's do this. Let's come up with, I guess let's make it 3 different arm exercises and 3 different ab exercises. Now, where are part of your abs? Upper, lower, sides, love handles? Like, what's your?
Lower.
Lower. So let's do like, let's make it cocoon crunches and dips. So that's one, right? That pairing together.
Okay.
This is like when we sit down and like do the consults and stuff like that. So that would be one pairing. Let's do alternating V-ups and skull crushers. And you said you have 1 dumbbell?
Yeah, I have I have a 1 15-pound kettlebell that's massive and really hard to use, and 1 25-pound dumbbell that I got from you guys.
Could you use the kettlebell for like reverse curls?
Yeah, it's hard though.
Would the dumbbell you got from us be too heavy?
Yeah, I'm like in between.
Hope, like, toughen up.
Can you use the kettlebell, like single arm, like
yeah, for that, yeah.
I was just trying to find a bicep exercise for the 3rd one. Oh. But so we'll figure out the dumbbell thing, and you can even do single with that kettlebell if it's not too weird. I guess something like that. But let's do this. Let's make it so you have 100 reps of both of those a day. So you have 100 dips, 100 cocoon crunches. The next day you have 100 skull crushers, and let's go 50 and 50 alternating V-ups. And on the last day, let's do it where it's, since it is going to be a little bit more awkward, why don't we do 10 curls right, 10 curls left, and let's do a minute plank, and you have 10 sets of that. That way you have your 100 reps there.
Oh, because with the skull crusher, she can hold the 125-pound dumbbell.
That would work too. Yeah, if you ever want to, like, you know, swap out an exercise with that. But just to get a start. So that way, if you don't make it into a Zoom workout, if you don't motivate yourself to do whatever, this is just something from start to finish in the day you do. Before you go to work, if you knock out 50 and 50, that's cool. If you don't get it all done, then after work, you get your other 50 and 50. But that way, at least like your areas that you need to work on, while everything else maybe untones a little bit or whatever, if you have too many DiGiorno's, like at least the main body parts will hopefully soak up some of those calories.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. How's work?
It's crazy.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Because of course you watch two stations, you hear two different stories. Everything's empty. Hospitals are empty. This one, it's people.
Well,
are
it is empty, and they actually shut my unit down because they're like refreshing and repainting and spackling. So I'm on like a different unit every night. So that part kind of sucks.
Oh, really?
Wow. Mm-hmm.
So like having to learn new roles, or just like
I
having
just
to
don't know where anything is. And I'm training someone, so I'm supposed to be like the go-to, and I'm like,
sorry, not my department.
Yeah.
I don't know who's got the gallery views set up like as they're watching this, but guys, it's always cool just to see you guys react to like what everybody else says. Like we don't realize how much we all struggle with the same thing. So it's cool you guys all share this stuff. Anything else, Miss Hope?
No, thank you. I appreciate it.
No, it's awesome. No, it's great. And I really think that's the biggest thing is like just build some consistency. That's my dog, I'm sorry. Consistency in what we can control. Like I'll say the same thing. It's hard to get them motivated every single day. So like that's one thing Travis and I just talked about this week is like every day one body part. So that way over 7 days, like even if we don't get a chance to like work out with weights, like we can at least knock out 100 dips that day, or we can do 100 squats. So I think that's like what we all need right now is building a little bit of consistency. So getting back to like those challenge, like 30-day calendars that we've done, like sometimes that might be an easy way to build that routine and structure back in. My whole thing just completely switched everybody's order, but we're going to go Kelly Hanley. Miss Kelly Hanley, how are you?
I'm okay.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
You have the best view of everybody working out.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's awesome. So what can we help you with this morning?
Well, muscle milk. Is that a good protein? Because it's the only one I can stomach.
Yes.
The powder or the pre-made?
Pre-made.
Yeah, you're great. The powder has a little bit extra fat. It's got 18 grams of fat and 32 protein only. So that one's a little tough, but yeah, if you're using the pre-made, excellent. Like you saw Shelly's reaction.
It's super yummy.
That's Ashley too. I think that's all she drinks at this point is those muscle milks. Now the pro, you obviously get a lot more like protein in it, but it is obviously more expensive to do that.
That's what I've been doing is the pro.
Yeah, and
I told them I have to drink it all at once in one, like just drink it. It's not something that I don't like it, but it's the only one I can drink. So
I'm happy to hear there's something at least.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? Has anybody else in this group, and feel free to unmute yourself, had struggles with protein and found something they like? We never get this many people, I guess, in a group at the same time together. All right. You're on your own, Kelly. Yeah.
I like the Fairlife Pro too. Those are pretty good.
Oh, yeah, Fairlife is good.
Kelly,
as well.
you might like that better than the muscle milk. Have you tried those?
I like the flavor better.
Fairlife Pro?
Oh, I've seen that. I haven't.
I'm sending you a link right now.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, you're right. Those taste better.
Those literally taste like chocolate milk. Like
I think
they're that good.
Also, Quest tastes like chocolate milk.
I haven't tried Quest yet.
Yeah, I haven't either. Who said
Caroline,
that?
are you doing the powdered, or
Well,
do they have pre-made ones?
They have pre-made ones that you can buy at Sam's Club.
Oh, okay.
And they're really good, but I use a powder too. I just use those when I want something quick and easy that I can take with me.
Grab and go.
Yep.
Cool.
But I use
I'll have to
powder
check-
too.
I'll have to
Yeah,
check those out then.
Yeah, and they're not bad actually. The Fairlife, it's Core Power is the name of them, Kelly, and I'm sending you the link in a second.
Okay.
But it's either $23 for 12 of them if you get the 26 gram, but if you go up to the 42 gram, it's $35 for 12. So you're looking like just under $3, I guess, a piece. I don't know what the muscle milks are running. Do you know?
I didn't pay attention to what they cost. I just bought a mega thing of them at Sam's, so that's I'm committed here. So yeah.
Nice, good. No, this is just for future. Again, we're about longevity of this, but no, I'm happy that you found something. Anything else you're struggling with? I know you're adapting to at-home work life too. How are you doing with everything?
Very stressful. Our company is on the brink of closing at any moment. So raise hours got cut, not completely, but we work for the same company.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I'm collecting money. He's the one who does stuff with the money. There's not that much money to do stuff with, so his hours got cut. I'm still getting money, and I'm still being successful. So far, I have not had my hours cut. But there's always that challenge. So that's stressful. But I found like we self-quarantined from the very beginning of March because we traveled in the beginning of March. We didn't want to give anything to anybody, so we hadn't seen our grandchildren for 8 weeks. And that,
I know that's been one of the biggest struggles. Yeah.
I'm an emotional eater, although I'm much better than I ever was in the past. But I did find myself making like food that would make me happy, like comfort food, like mac and cheese and all the stuff my mom used to make. Well, I did about a week of that. My body did not like that. So I am much better now, especially now that we're sending you our little thing every day. I'm being much better about all that. My other goal is to make 4 workouts a week, and I did it this week, and I'm very proud of myself. My body is not happy right now.
Nice. You got a lot of applause coming there. I love it.
Woohoo.
You also got thumbs up on mac and cheese from a couple people as well, but yeah.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. So
the cool thing is embracing that, Kelly. I think that's so much like we would have hid behind that maybe in previous years, but now it's like, all right, we did it. We own it. You know, it's that's bold.
And we finally went to see my grandchildren last night.
Oh, no way. Oh,
Yay.
so cool. That's awesome.
That's a big win.
That's where Michelle and I are having our issues because it's like, you know, it's not just us anymore. It's like the future baby, and like it could be any day type of thing. And so like luckily all of our parents have like quarantined as well, but it's like some people want to see us and it's like they have it, and it's just like it's not even for us, it's for them, you know. So it's tough. Like, yeah, I don't know who's going to see our faces for, I guess, a couple months, but it is.
I know,
it's
especially since when the baby's born. But we'll figure it out.
Where do your grandkids live? The ones that you just saw?
I saw Emily's kids yesterday.
Oh, okay.
In Newport Richie. They live down the road, and we haven't seen them for 8 weeks. We're going to go see our grandchildren in Clearwater today, and then we've done the whole isolation. Everybody's isolated. We're going to wear masks. We're going to do the whole thing. And then we're going to because Ray is very compromised. He's a little bit older. And so we have to be careful about that. And
I remember you saying that as soon as we went into quarantine. Because you started, I think, doing the at-home workouts, I think like a week before we closed up, right?
March 9th was the last time
Wow. Yeah, so you were one of the originals for the at-home stuff. I also noticed the days that you've missed, you've been doing workouts middle of the day. Is that something that would be like something you would do in the future, or is that only because you're home? Or you do work from home, right?
I did one at lunchtime. I work from 9:30 to 6:30, so the only one that works for me is the 6 a.m. Unless I do it on my lunch break, which is not really realistic for me because I usually end up working most of my lunch break. But I wanted to do it that. So so 6 o'clock. If you would do a 7 o'clock one, that would make my life so much nicer. But I know that I'm not the only person. So
7 o'clock online workout has been a heavily requested thing that we've all heard. So that's it seems like people that are working that can't make it to the facility. That seems to be a time where everybody's finally home. So something to work on. It interrupts yoga though, which is 2 of those like 4 to 5 nights a week. So it's like we'd have to figure out some scheduling things with that. But yeah, it's definitely something that has been requested.
And 5:30.
We're in the middle of a workout day. Why would we do 5:30 online? Oh, you mean for like right now?
Yeah, like 5:30 instead of 5.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So that we don't have to rush.
I see. I'm with 5:30. Like, is anybody else an afternoon person that would do 5:30? Yeah. See, cool, Denise. Good to know. Margaret, what about you? Would 5:30 work? Yeah, cool. Yeah, it's guys, I would personally prefer it. Like looking at our like attendance schedule and stuff, it's like 80% skewed that 4:45 and 5:30 time. But even from that, then it's skewed like 70-30% of like 4:45 versus 5:30. So that was just a time that we originally put based on one of our last surveys we did. But if 5:30 works, I would rather do that. And that way Friday night the bar is the same time. I kind of like just the consistency of that.
Well, and that's the time that it was when the gym was open.
Yeah, but just the 5 o'clock was the consistent thing. Hey, if you notice, the 2 times I've done Friday night at the bar, I moved to 5:30. I don't want to do no 5 o'clock. Stupid. No, I get it. So Kelly, 7 o'clock live workout would be awesome. Otherwise, 6 a.m. when we're back open, like that's your baby.
Your
I mean,
jam.
no, I hate it, but I have to.
You've been a constant. Well, we can set you up a cot next to Rollo. We have a conspiracy that Rollo's been sleeping there for
He never
this whole
leaves the
quarantine.
gym.
Yeah.
Everybody sees him when they're there. Yeah. I got thrown out of order. I think I have Monica. What's up, Monica? How are you, lady? Actually, it looks like you have to unmute yourself. You got me locked. How are you?
Doing all right. I think when you had
Look
us
at
do
your
the-
backyard, Monica. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Sorry.
when you had us do the very first post for the MyFitnessPal, I noticed my cholesterol was like super high. So, you know, being a nurse, I was freaking out about that. I was like, well, I didn't realize I was consuming so much cholesterol because I love eggs, love cheese. So I went and bought egg whites and, you know, I think focusing on like more leaner protein, because you give me a burger versus a turkey burger, I want a regular burger. You know, so I think just kind of, you know, that is, you know, focusing on lean protein and, you know, too, like when, you know, we make a meal for, you know, the family for the week. So I kind of know what we're making throughout the week. But like when I make a meal and, you know, you're making it for the whole family and then you're plugging in your meals to MyFitnessPal and creating that, like I never really know how many servings I'm making or how much protein I'm consuming. So I'm kind of guessing on the ounces or guessing, you know, it's kind of I'm guessing really.
Yeah. So that was something that came up week 2, maybe. So here's the way to do it. Sometimes you can't do it ahead of time. Sometimes you need to do it after the fact. And then that way, you know it ahead of time in the future. So one of the ways that you can do it is to say you make like a baked meal or something, make your lines ahead of time so you at least know how many portions it is. And just as people are taking them out, like then you can kind of figure out, I guess, what it was. But like you need to have some sort of gauge to measure it by, because otherwise, like there's no way to ever figure it out. Because you're right, you're totally guessing otherwise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But isn't there, Derek, with MyFitnessPal, wouldn't she add in her food as like a recipe?
Yeah, but then it's dividing up how many total servings, I think is what you're asking, right, Monica?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, but that's it. So it's like it's almost has to be after the fact. Like you determine, make it up. I mean, it could be, again, 8 portions, or if it's 6 chicken breasts or whatever, make up what you think is how many portions. And then at the end, figure out how many portions it really was, you know, because you might think it's 8 portions, then your family eats and it's 4 people and it's gone.
Yeah, with a 14-year-old,
really,
yes.
So that's where then you go back, you recalibrate the recipe, and it's a 4-portion meal.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden those calorie numbers jump, but at least you know what it really is.
And then like when I'm eating chicken, is it 4 ounces? Is it 6 ounces? I'm kind of guessing.
Yeah. So you have to figure out again how much you're putting in the total recipe, and then you can divide back out once you know how many servings there were. Okay. So, and you're right. I mean, if you don't get the same exact consistency, if it's something where it's all cut up, yes, it might be off a bit, but it really just comes into after that first time you make the recipe, as long as you know your ingredients, and then you can figure out how many portions it was after, and then going forward, you always know. But no, that's a great question. I mean, I came up, I think, on the 2nd or 3rd week, but you know, that's where too, if you look and you're consistently short on protein every single day, and you have one of those constant recipes you're always making, go look at what you can go and add to that recipe to add more protein. And sometimes it is just swapping out the Greek yogurt or adding more, like instead of 8-ounce, you know, breasts, it's going 10 ounces, you know, for each one. And so it's whatever, 8 total extra ounces in the meal instead. But some of those things help. Go ahead, Sean.
And can I just add in too, Monica, if you don't want to eat the turkey, don't eat the turkey.
Hell no.
Because really, if you look at it, and I think probably you've heard Derek say this, I mean, the same thing, like turkey, like ground turkey, a lot of times will have the same amount of fat as like ground beef. And even if you buy like a higher cut of ground beef, as long as you're straining out the fat, like you don't have to do the 93 and 7, which ends up being like super expensive usually. As long as you're straining the fat, you should be okay. I mean, if I'm going to do a leaner cut of meat, I would look towards like fish or chicken breast, but I would never do turkey. Like, sorry.
Rollo's the only one. Rollo loves his turkey, but like he stinks up the gym so bad.
It's okay for tacos, like ground turkey and tacos isn't too bad, but yeah, get that regular burger, girl. Don't.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And so
like I said, as long as you're cooking out the fat and straining it out, it really, I mean, you're taking the fat out of it. There may be some residual fat left over, but still.
yeah.
Sorry,
The other thing
Karen.
I'll add is, no, just do a quick, like, updated kind of search, because a lot of the findings is like dietary cholesterol also is not affecting your actual like lipid cholesterol. So look into some of that, but obviously like a lot of your cholesterol and triglycerides come from not only your sugars, but your saturated fats. So that goes back to like the vegetables and fruits again. If you can start subbing out some of those things and maybe adding in a little bit more vegetables instead of the starch, or, mashed cauliflower instead of potatoes with butter, or, whatever. Maybe that's where we can sacrifice, sorry, the dogs are just playing. That's where we can sacrifice some of those like saturated fat grams. And now we're just, we're not sacrificing beef to turkey. Or egg whites. That was the worst. I can't believe you didn't pick up on that, show. Egg whites is worse than.
Yeah. And I was going to say, if you want to supplement with egg whites, I mean, I used to in the past, like I would do the majority of egg whites, but I would still throw in like one egg.
That's what I've been doing.
Yeah, just so like the color looks a little bit better and you have a little more taste, because egg whites can be a little rough. That's for
You
sure.
can fluff it up too, throwing in spinach and some other things, but I don't know if you add cheese, but maybe getting rid of that and adding in like actual like shaky Parmesan cheese. Your dietary cholesterol will still be there, but your fats and saturated fats will be almost non-existent. So, yeah, and it's so salty in that fat that you can't add that much, so it'll limit your portion size. But, tomatoes, some shaky Parmesan cheese, and spinach, and you got like a Greek omelet that has no cholesterol if you're doing your egg whites.
Okay.
Yeah, so that might help going that way. At least a good start for this week.
Yeah.
Welcome. Thank you for joining us. I hope every week you're here. We've never quite done it going through this way because there hasn't been this many people. We normally have a topic that we cover, but hey, this is awesome. Ms. Zammit. Oh, you got yourself blocked. I can't unmute you. What's going on with you, lady? Welcome to the party.
Huh?
Welcome to the party.
Thanks.
How's life going? I know normalcy. I saw you respond to the 5:30 time. What's your life?
We're Zammit households in survival mode, kind of. Just trying to make it through. We have, like Oliver's still working, but because they got rid of all of the managers, he's working 6 days a week, like from 7:30 until 11. And I'm still working 40 plus hours a week. And then one of our kindergarten teachers left during this whole online live teaching, because we're not
left.
The kindergarten teacher, the one
like
that was
she
on
quit.
Yeah,
Wow.
She left with 5 weeks left, and I was already in the class live helping support her, trying to get her through or whatever. But she was an older teacher who basically didn't know how to pull a tab out of your tab, and so like trying to do it online and present and do these Google Meet classrooms was a challenge. So I was in there as support for a couple of weeks, and then she left. So I'm now teaching kindergarten live.
Oh, no way.
Still trying to keep up with all of the stuff at the.
That sounds like my nightmare.
With lottery and registrations, and I mean, it's like life is just insane.
So you have your job plus that.
Yeah, and then I have Lucas's online school, and Timmy is online live, and I have the new 5-year-old in my house that's also online live. And so I'm
and
on my
Oliver's
own.
gone all day. Yeah.
Oliver's gone. So Lucas has been a huge help. But like, as much as I think, like before I go to bed at night, thinking about getting up and doing the 6 o'clock Zoom, I can't get my ass out of bed. Pardon my language. I'm just so tired. I'm so tired. Like I'm so tired. And not only that, everyone in the house is sleeping, so I don't want to risk waking everybody up.
I totally get you.
6 o'clock. So it's been a challenge. And poor Mickey, she'll text me midday at like 10 o'clock. I'm teaching live. She's like, "Hey, don't forget our points." And I just want to be like, "Oh."
Quit being so cheerful. I will tell. Yeah, it's so funny, and like Shelly will say the same thing, and like I guess I've seen it more in my conversations, but like she's like how you're feeling right now, just with Ruby. So like I can understand, but like she's so stressed of like trying to teach and mom and everything else. It's a lot. I know.
It's a lot, and to try to be, obviously, you have the basics where you want to try to make sure that you are preparing for your family, that you have everything that you need, so that we're not leaving the house more than every, 9 or 10 days where I have to go do my grocery pickup. So that's been a challenge. But my favorite thing so far, as silly as it seems, was this stupid MyFitnessPal take a picture and post it, because the first day I did it, it was empty because I haven't been using it, because I'm not taking care of myself in that way, because I'm just trying to stay,
trying to maintain.
I'm trying to stay sane at the moment. So I wasn't doing anything, and but now at least I'm at the point where I'm not in the stage where I'm planning everything that I'm doing, which is where I would love to be, but let's face it, I'm just not there.
Yeah.
But I'm tracking everything that I'm putting in my mouth. So at least, so the last few days, at least I'm, which has kept me from putting more in my mouth than I'm supposed to be. So that's been a good thing.
You're getting a lot of head nods and that type too. And it's like, Zamet's been somebody who's tried to out-train bad diets in the past, and when she's like used MyFitnessPal, like this has been her unlock. So most people use it backwards, like work out first, then get into nutrition. If you're struggling a bit, guys, like maybe that's a good lesson, is like at least trying to control the one thing that you can kind of wrap your hands around. Instead of strangling Mickey, just grab MyFitnessPal. Like,
and I love her, and I don't want
too nice. You can't.
I don't want to. And you know what? My wanting to, my feeling of like, I wish I could be, wearing pink and doing my workouts, and I wish I could be, posting all my things. I want to be. I'm in the point right now, like I'm literally on my first meeting in the morning is at 7:30. My last meeting is, ends at 5, and then I have another meeting at 4:45, and I can't log off until 5 o'clock. So I can't make it to I could do this, but my brain, I just can't right now. I'm so tired.
I totally get you. Would 5:30 be a hard stop time for you that you would be able to get into? And
at least 5:30, I'm off work. Like I can't log into a Zoom. Hey, look, Zamet was on the 5 when
of course.
Yeah.
And like, as far as dinner, would that like change plans too much for everybody? If like,
we don't eat till 7:30, anywhere from 7:30 to 8:30. We try, like most nights, Oliver's been getting home at after 11 o'clock, sometimes at midnight. But the nights when he can make, if he's in Eustis or in Brooksville, he's been able to make it home by 8:30 or 9. So we've had dinner at 8:30 or 9 o'clock, just to try.
I see where your brain's at.
Lunch, yeah.
We're having lunch at dinner. No, that makes sense. And then I've also heard the same thing with like the 7 p.m. like live workout, but I've also heard the same thing of like moving 5 to 5:30 at least temporarily. So I will put a post.
7 p.m. is beautiful too.
Yeah, I think right now it's going to be tough, like I said, interfering with yoga. But yeah, I think 5:30 is something that might be able to transition a little quicker. I will put a post out there. There's 2 things to look for, guys, on the support page today, is that as far as like the timing of things, because we have heard that a bunch. And then the other is there's going to be like a pajama party tonight. So we'll be doing some games and some different things. So we'll post about that in just a little bit. I think the next person, anything else going on, Zamet? It's great to see you. It's great to have you on here. Thanks for sharing all this. We're all here.
It's good to
vent. You had Kathy laughing on a bunch of stuff. So she was entertained regardless of how you feel right now.
Well, good. Well, thanks. But,
Michelle, you're next.
Me?
You're next to my boxes. What's going on with you, lady?
Well.
Oh, what was your saying you said yesterday? Bean turned to a what?
Bean turned into a sack of potatoes, we found out some interesting news that she's on the bigger scale of the 90th percentile of weight. And I still have 4 more weeks. Yeah, she's huge. So, yeah, apparently I am not lacking in the food department during this quarantine. And yeah. So anyways,
she's reaping the benefits, but yeah.
She sure is. And I really feel, again, I try to stick to my protein and water. And then the rest is kind of just whatever I feel like eating. And I did do really well the first couple weeks of quarantine, but I will say, since I've hit that 34, 35 week of pregnancy, I just don't give a fuck. Excuse my French, but
Hey, but we've done no dessert since last. Oh, look, we have a 5-year-old there. We've done no dessert.
Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry.
Oh, she's great. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, she's totally fine. Hi, Kennedy. I don't know.
Hi, Kennedy. Earmuffs.
No, but I was gonna say, but we've done no desserts since whatever it was, since we like took the Oreos out of the house. But we're doing blizzards
Yeah,
tonight. Buy one, get one for 99 cents. That's our
99
plans for
cents.
tonight.
It's a win.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah, I was so happy to hear because like we've gone so long between appointments, like just to hear like she's so healthy and she went from the 66th percentile to over the 90th in a 1 month span. So
Let's just say if I go the next 4 weeks to my full term, she will be close to 10 pounds. So, yeah.
But Michelle, don't worry about that because they are wrong very often.
Yes. Yeah, they said the variance that we can either be, she
Yeah.
can be a pound under or even a pound heavier. So,
and
yeah.
still no picture.
Don't stress about it. You're going to do fine.
Yeah, we do have tentatively set a C-section just in case because I don't know if I want to push out a baby that size, but yeah, we'll see. They just have to, it's kind of a wait and see thing because I have one more growth ultrasound in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then they'll make a better determination of that. But hey, I'm just happy she's healthy. She's thriving clearly. So that's all I could ask for.
Amazing. And guys, it's so like I'm just the proud husband, of course. I cried yesterday, like when I heard the news, because of course I can't go to any of these appointments anymore. But she just moves amazing. It's like awesome. She's still like full squats, full whatever. It's like it makes me so happy from the trainer side. But
Yes, still try to keep working. I can't work out every day. It's usually every other day I'm working out, and then the days that I'm not working out, we're trying to still walk like a mile to 2 miles. And I'm just really trying to listen to my body because sometimes it just doesn't feel good anymore. So, but yeah, trying to stay active and do the best I can. But
that's what it's all about. Yeah, and getting onto the walking, guys, that'll be an announcement that'll be made tomorrow, but you guys will get the sneak peek on it. Starting next week from Monday to Sunday, if you want to earn points for your team, 26.1 miles, I guess, whatever it works out to be, but a marathon in a week. You can walk it, you can jog it, you can run it, you can pull it, you can whatever. But you just can't drive it, I guess. I didn't think about that part as I was saying that, but like everything else is totally copacetic. But yeah, so but that'll be announced tomorrow. But the whole idea is just to get people moving again, because everybody's gotten into their workouts and things, and we tried to incorporate running. It was like 2 weeks ago, and like no one really went running. So we just want to make sure that we're getting the body moving and getting some of those things going. Hope just like had a moment of reality there. I saw her face light up. All right, Miss Margaret, welcome. First time. She installed Zoom last night. We talked how to screenshot this morning. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Working like crazy. But it sounds like I'm not alone. I didn't realize that. But yeah, so what I'm going to do is try to focus on me and slice some time for me as far as getting a better grip on time management, because like last night I only worked till 6 p.m. The night before I worked till 9 p.m. and that's starting work at like 6 o'clock in the morning. So
oh wow,
I know it's crazy, but it is what it is. And so what I need to do is I need to have a stop as to getting a grip on some time. And I think today is a good day to say, okay, this is for me, and I'm doing good with my meals. What I've started doing this week is using the MyFitnessPal so to track. My only issue, of course, is snacking. I love snacking, so I'm going to have to work on that as to better snacks. But overall, we're eating a good breakfast. We're eating pretty good lunch. I'm going to ramp up the protein. I like the fact that idea of putting the protein powder in the coffee, so that's good. I've already put protein powder in my cold oatmeal, so that
nice.
works out pretty good.
What flavor? Let's stop there real quick because that might help some people. What flavor protein powder? And in oatmeal, you said cold oatmeal.
Yeah, I usually drink my coffee cold and my oatmeal cold. So the oatmeal, so if it's overnight oatmeal, I just put
Gotcha.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So if I have Greek yogurt, I put a little bit of that. But mostly it's just the oatmeal. What was it last time? It was oatmeal, peanut butter, apples, protein powder, and truffle walnuts, but I forgot to put them in. So it's like,
You add water?
Sometimes I put no, I put coconut milk in
Okay.
it. I don't like it really liquidy, and so yeah. So it varies. Of course, sometimes I'll do it with bananas or whatever's around. But
Hey guys, can I get a thumb up or no? Like, have you guys ever tried overnight oats? Because I've never done that. No. I saw Kelly's face. No, really? Yeah, I actually would try that, especially with the protein being added in. I guess I never thought of that.
yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, I like that idea about the so I drink my coffee cold, so I'm going to utilize that the protein powder instead of putting the stevia in, because the protein powder already has a little bit of sugar.
Sure does.
So it'll be good there. So yeah, just basically focusing on time management and just saying, hey, this hour is for me. And what I find is at night, what I do is I walk the dog. So I've been walking the dog twice, and it kind of re-energizes me, because I feel really tired after a long day. But that's because I'm probably worn out my batteries, and it's like, so when I walk the dog or do a quick, jump rope or jumping jacks, I actually feel more energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's awesome. If you guys are working out at home, I mean, Shelly and I have had to do this now for, not had to, but by choice, I guess, for like 8 years. It's hard. It is so hard. And then like you're talking about, like your workday doesn't just stop at a certain time. Like, because work's at home, like you feel like if it's 10 o'clock and there's something to do, like you do it. So like, it's very hard to separate what you're saying. But the one thing that we've done, previously is like, we'd go take the dogs for a walk. We go out, like, especially like before I write nighttime workouts and some of those things, like it's great to kind of just separate, get away, like your creativity gets livened, but you can't just sit in it all day. So that's a great point you just made, whether you realize what you were saying or not. But yeah, like jumping jacks, arm circles, like at the clerk's office, when we did their program, it was every time they went to the bathroom, because that was the first thing, they complained about having to go to the bathroom from drinking water, or like, what's wrong with walking, getting up? So the whole goal was to high five somebody on your way, which social distance now is probably going to be out. Then it was like 20 marches at your chair. Then it was, I think, 10 squats, and they did like 20 arm circles. And it was just something basic, but it makes you smile. Like you can't even help yourself. It's very hard to frown and like do arm circles. So it's like something where, that's a great point for any of you else who are struggling at home. Like just get up and knock out some squats.
And I was going to say, if you have dogs and dogs get in a routine, if you start walking them, they're certainly going to start giving you the eyeballs, like, let's go.
Oh, I want to see Timmy, I see you're there. You have a puppy, don't you? Grab the puppy. Let's go. Margaret, anything else? Because I want to be able to help you get into some of the workouts. So would 5:30 work for you?
Yeah. So I'm going to look at the time, and 5:30 works for me. I'm just going to try to block out that time. I'll put a private meeting in the email and on the
your schedule.
Calendar. It's like, this is for me, and it's like people can work around.
Power to you.
That's awesome.
No,
Good
I think
for
that's
you.
huge. And think of it this way: if you if there's a day that you can't break away, like something happens, like remember, be forgiving of yourself. One thing, set a goal maybe of like what Kelly said, of like make it 4 days a week. So if like you do miss on a Wednesday, it's like, all right, well, I know I at least have Thursday, Friday, Saturday, but maybe have a fallback plan like what we did with Hope, like have 100 reps for a crunch, or we can send you the 21-day ab program or something that you can do just in case.
Jacks.
Yeah, 100 jumping jacks. Yeah.
I agree.
Guys, we've never crossed the hour point. I'm sorry. This is like, if you guys are cool, stick on. We just got a couple minutes left there. I see the puppy. But anyway, we'll keep moving on. Margaret, it's so great to see you. I will have that post going up today about 5:30 and see if we can get everybody else on board for that.
And great idea about the overnight oats too. Thank you, Margaret.
I don't like oatmeal, so I want to try that. All right. We have Miss Marianne Nowak. What do you have going on, lady? I see your ear.
Hey, Derek. Hey, everybody. My
Great ear, Marianne.
Thank you. Welcome to the world, right?
Exactly. What's going on with you, lady?
I just want to say a couple of things. I love the idea of the cold oatmeal. I'm going to try that as well. But I absolutely love my turbo coffee in the morning, which is, the coffee with 1 scoop of protein shake and the little bit of that sugar-free Hershey's syrup. That's one of my go-tos when I have the time in the morning. I am not a morning person anymore. I used to be. So I have the same issue with getting the workouts. I'm working every day, 8 to 5. So 5:30 would absolutely work for me. 6 a.m., not going to happen. Once in a blue moon, maybe, but not going to be a regular thing for me. So that's why I haven't even downloaded Zoom until now. And the only reason I did, because I wanted to join y'all for a morning coffee.
Margaret did this morning too. Margaret, that's awesome. That's 2 of you guys this morning.
Margaret and I were chatting yesterday on Facebook. I was trying to help her learn how to do screenshots and all that fun stuff.
I sent her a YouTube video this morning. Yep.
And I'm Team Heart. But I want to say too, as far as my fitness pal and getting your proteins in, for me, I'm at like 1,200 calories a day. And I find if I get 4 ounces of protein at lunch, 4 to 6 ounces at dinner, depending on what I have for snacks, I'm able to get my protein in.
Yeah.
I'm not a big
And you've been consistent for a long time with your stuff. When you follow it, you get it dead on. Same with like Mary Beth, I guess, in that sense.
Right. And if you look at my first day, I posted Monday, I was jonesing for ice cream, and that was going to be my cheat last Saturday, but I was lazy and didn't get my butt up to go out last Saturday.
Too lazy to have a cheat meal? That sounds like counterproductive.
No, Derek, I work in the funeral business. Need I say any more?
Oh, man. Yeah. Holy moly.
I can tell you stories, okay? Let me tell you. But, I'm thankful to be working. I can tell you that. And I'm joining you.
Absolutely.
I'm actually on my way back from the vet with 2 of my cats. I have a cancer cat. She had to go for a checkup, and then the other one just needed some grooming. So that's why I've kind of been futzing in and out of the meeting. But I'm having a hard time getting the workouts in. I'm not self-motivated, which which is why I joined Live Fit in the first place. So if you can change that workout to 5:30, even 5:45, 6 o'clock, anywhere in there.
Hey, we're pushing it. We're pushing it.
I will be joining, because I'm home by 5:10.
No, that's awesome. I think that's a pretty good consensus within the group here. I think that sounds about like it's going to work for. Nobody said no at this point, so it'll be those 4:45 people we have to fight off. But no, I think that's great. So let me ask you this though: like, have you heard some of the stuff like as far as with Hope and with Margaret of just setting up like a daily body part of like like 100 reps, 50 reps, something that you could do just to, again, sometimes motivation. Like, so this is how it is. Like, I'll say, "Hey, Shell, I need to work out." She's like, "Okay, so when are you going?" "I don't know, a little bit." And then it's an hour later, and it's 2 hours later, and it's 3 hours later. And she'll say, "Why don't you just go start with jumping jacks and bicycle crunches like you always do?" And it'll go from there. And then she'll see me an hour later. My face is white. I've puked. I've like done whatever. I've also cleaned something in the yard. It's like, so sometimes it just starts with like, you got to like do something. But like 20 jumping jacks, 20 bicycle crunches for 5 rounds is like my go-to. So maybe have something like that. But that's like my warm up. It gets my shoulders, my hips, my whatever. And it's just a way of getting up and down. And yeah.
And I was gonna say, and if you have a go-to exercise that you're like, oh, I can do this, like jumping jacks, or some people like crunches, or
like burpees with Lor.
Yeah, exactly. Burpees with Lor.
No.
But just something that like mentally you were like, oh, I can do this. Like he said, generally too, then you start tacking on like, okay, I can do a little bit more, or I can do a little bit more, or I can throw in squats with this, or I can, so. But it really with Derek, it truly does. It always start. I'm like, just go do some jumping jacks. You'll be fine.
You know what I did like? The idea when you said that you were doing it with the clerk's office, because I'm sitting at a desk all day behind a computer, but I do get up and down quite frequently to use a fax machine. So
it could be something where every time, ooh, you froze. It could be something every time you get up, you have to do like 3 squats. So it's like 1, 2, 3, and you get up and go. And that might be something where every single time, like you might start hesitating of like, if you really need to go do that thing, or if it actually keeps you more productive at your desk. But that might be an idea too. Marianne, you're froze. If I see you come back, I'll come. Oh, there you are.
Yeah, I'm here. I know I'm driving. So, you
no,
hit
it's
those
all
dead
good.
spots.
Did you hear that answer though? That might be something of just, it's like a 3 pump squat every time you get up from your desk.
Right. No, I didn't hear that answer. So no, I love that idea because I don't have any trouble getting out, and walking when I get home. In fact, I'm going to love next week when we have to do, because I figured it out when you said how many miles we had to do. I'm like, okay, so that's 4 miles a day. I usually do 3. I'm good.
Yeah.
I can ramp it up for an extra mile.
It's 3 3/4, and that's what Michelle and I are going to try and do. Is like in the morning, get like throughout our property. Then we'll try and go someplace like before dinner and then post dinner. However, we make those last like 2.5 miles work. But you know, again, that can divide up in a number of different things. Kelly, thinking of you knowing your staircase, like if you have like a Fitbit or one of those that you can use elevation, like, I mean, your steps could even come in through all that stuff. Like you guys can start to make this some of your workouts if you can't tune in one day as well. So yeah, Marianne, that might be something where every time you see a fire hydrant, you have 10 squats.
Yep. I love it. I love
That's
it.
serious. What would a dog
I
do?
see, and I live on Orchid Lake, so when I go around the lake, it's close to a mile each time around. So, and I love that walk.
Find landmarks, Marianne. I'm going to interrupt you there, but that's what we need to do is you need to find landmarks around Orchid Lake right there. At the bench, you do dips. At the fire hydrant, you do squats. At the something, at the little drainage, you do, you know, curb stomps or something.
Gotcha.
So
Or
you got to
every
find.
corner. Every
Yeah.
corner even, you know.
So you start finding something like that, and I'll tell you, it makes like your walk even harder. Like it's we used to have in our old neighborhood, it was like kind of like a square, and like at the different stops, like if you did squats or lunges or whatever, it made it impossible to get that, you know, engine going back to run or fast jog or whatever again. So
Well, look at Leslie Vachon. She
remember,
you know, she's obviously been so consistent, looks so amazing, but she was just doing laps around the gym. Was she just running a mile? I don't remember what she started off with. But it, again, it was kind of like she was hitting a plateau. So then Derek threw in after one lap, then you throw in X amount of like squats. And then the next lap you're doing whatever. So it stretched out her mile.
It was like wall balls and skull crushers and like always something every lap.
And look at her. I mean, she looks fabulous. So
That's awesome. And then did you look at my first day that I posted, Derek? Because I had a pint of ice cream that day.
If you had it up by Tuesday, then yes, because I went through everybody's just to make sure that the percentages were right.
Yes, I did. I was laughing. I said, of course, you know, because I couldn't get to, and they were closed Sunday. I went Monday, and I'm like, all right, great. This is going to be my first day. Derek's going to look at this and say she's doing like crap.
It's logged.
Also,
you know, the thing is just posting it on there because most of the people it was their first time ever using it. And I mean, their numbers were so off, or they had it listed as 200 carbs and they hit it and they thought they were doing good, you know? So like, don't judge yourself on that. It's just one day.
Yeah. No, I know that, you know, you have to have that sheet every once in a while. And like Kelly, I heard you saying earlier, I phased back in off the phone with the vet at that point where you were saying you had that whole week of comfort meals. Well, you know what? You have to do that because if you don't do that, that's when you go off the deep end and start eating those boxes of Oreo cookies, Derek Curlew.
What? I will say there's something about that. And it's like the longer you try to fight temptation, the more you end up like just crumbling, where sometimes it's like you need to plan it, like maybe not giving into it, but just be like, you know what, I've been craving this mac and cheese for so long, like tonight's the night, but like this is going to be it. And then we're going to make it a 7-day goal that I can't have it again until next Saturday. And I'm going to be proud when I eat it next Saturday because I made it a full 7 days instead of like guilt again the next Saturday. And then, you know, because that's how we started 2 years ago. Like it was amazing up until I guess it was like 4 weeks ago. I think that's what it was. At 4 weeks ago, Michelle was at only, it was like 4 pounds more than she was a year ago at that date without a baby. And so like last year in 2008, so it was 19, we both lost a lot of weight. And it was like, just, it started with, we didn't do pizza for the first month of January and no desserts. And like, that was it. Then we started doing it every other week. And then we like phased things in, but we did everything in like 30-day challenges last year of like, we're going to have this only twice in this period or once in this period. We went through a Chinese phase. I think when we took away pizza, we went through Chinese food. So it was like, all right, no Chinese food for the next 30 days. And, you know, but it's not guilty when we have it again. It's like, all right, well, we did this, now we're having it, but then we got to create a new structure and boundary. It's not just, I had it today, now I can have it tomorrow and again and again and again. And now it becomes a 3-week goal and a 2-week goal and however you want to set it. But, you know, that way you don't feel guilty. It's all pride. You win.
And I can tell you, for me, you know, I've been doing this for a long time with you. It's got to be like 4 years now with my Fitness Pal. But I can tell you on the days where I have a lot of carbs, that's where my weight's not going down as much overnight as it does when I don't have all those carbs.
Carbs need water. They need 2 to 4 ounces of water. Water weighs weight, and that's where bloat comes from. But yeah, no, it's totally real. So we'll work on the 5:30 time. I'm officially out of coffee. We have 2 people left, so we got to move this. We're at an hour and 15 minutes, but we have 2 people left. Marianne, thank you again for joining us. This is a day one for you. I have, where's my other 2 people? Oh, I have 2 other day one people. I have Denise and I have Marcy Berube. Miss Marcy.
Hi there.
I don't think we have enough time to catch up with everything you've been having going on, but let's talk about you and how just Marcy's heart, head, and everything is going.
Well, I appreciate everybody's support and everything. Yeah, I wasn't even going to touch on my week or my numbers. I do have an actual question though. When putting in the numbers, broccoli adds to my carbs.
Don't put any vegetables, beans, or exercise. So those are the three things you won't count in MyFitnessPal. And I'll make sure I send you over like the instructions on that.
Okay.
Yeah. So leave those things out. It'll give you a lot more food.
We eat a lot of steamed broccoli, and Ellie was just told that that's her favorite vegetable, and she was told that it's awesome fiber by the 1,000th person. So in, and so we are literally eating bags upon bags of broccoli a day. And I thought I was rocking it. I was going to get the vitamins to calculate for me on the MyFitnessPal. I'm like, if nothing else, I'm hitting some of these goals with the vitamins and minerals and fiber. And no, it ended up adding into carbs. And I'm like, wow, okay.
Yeah.
I have carbs that I don't need help with broccoli and carbs.
Marcy, I'm going to take 1 second and we're going to put somebody on the spot. Kristina, what did we talk about last week? Why aren't we tracking those? Oh, and I can't unmute you. There you go. So why aren't we putting those in MyFitnessPal?
Because of the fiber from the vegetables, it subtracts from the carbohydrates. So you're not eating as much carbs as you think you're eating. So.
Cool. And whatever you eat, however you swallow it, is how it leaves you.
Yeah, Coke comes in and goes straight out.
Good recap. So guys, every week, I'm muting you back up. But every week we're having, it's funny, like it's been like 8 of us, 10 of us, whatever. This is the biggest number yet, but like, it's cool hearing everybody's things. Cause just like what Margaret said, like, we don't realize other people are struggling with this, but that vegetable question came up last week because when you start entering everything like that, like this was the Rhonda Cantu situation. She got so ripped last year, but we're like, Rhonda, you just got to eat a little bit more, because it was like she was counting her vegetables. And then when she was eating carbs, it was all from fruit. So there was nothing that was like staying with her. Everything was like either in, out, or it was like quick burn fuel from like the fruit. So that's where, yeah, don't use that, Marcy. Consider the vegetables as free food.
Okay. I'm good with that. I like free. Free is good.
Yeah. So one of the things that's very similar in fiber source and vitamins and stuff is cauliflower. So maybe look into like cauliflower mashed potatoes, cauliflower rice, and some of those things, because Ellie might get bored of broccoli after a while.
Absolutely. Teddy, I'm sorry.
Cauliflower rice is so good. I had it with spaghetti sauce.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Do you make your own, or do you buy the frozen bags? Whoever said that, I only get 4 at a time.
I bought the frozen bag, like the Green Giant or something. It was great.
Yep, they sell it in bulk. Even Rebuild sells it if you wanted to just get something where it was like pre-made, cauliflower rice for the week. But no, I was gonna say, like, my mom does nothing like store-bought, but I mean, she just takes the cheese grater and takes a whole head of cauliflower and does it that way, boils it, and you're good to go.
Okay.
Yeah, and you can find so much on Google as far as recipes of what seasonings and stuff to add.
Speaking of that, I was gonna actually look up. I have a couple of overnight oat recipes that I've been using for Josh, and we love it. I'm not a huge oatmeal fan, but I tweaked it to our taste. Always add in the chia seeds, always add in the unsweetened almond milk and extra protein powder of different kinds. You just totally experiment with it, tweak it, and it works really well, and it's so much better than, he loves oatmeal, but even the low sugar instant packets are so high in sugar, it's not funny.
They are. They're like 16 grams of sugar. Yep. It doesn't seem like it, but it adds up fast.
If he wants sweetness, I told him, I said, we have all of the other, and we have the honey. I'm like, just dribble a little honey on top after. And so he'll eat like that layer and look at me, and I'm like, no, keep eating. But just a little dribbled honey, and that works. So
Michelle, you were going to say something?
Yeah, I was just going to say, will you post those on the support page for everybody, the recipes that you have?
The starter recipe, and then I'll just put ideas of what I do. But it's pretty much whatever you've got in the fridge, put in it, kind of deal.
Okay.
My favorite kind of meals. But and then the other one last question from when Monica brought it up, and you've probably told me this before, but since I never really did it, or got into the habit of it, I just measuring the actual portions. whether it's, she said 6 ounces, or she said 4 or 6, I'm 6, 8, or 10. Nonetheless, is it cooked or is it uncooked? And I use my little scale thingy that I've had for 2 years, Dusty, right?
Yeah, so that's excellent. So one of the biggest things that people make the mistake, and that's the other thing with Monica on that ground beef part too, is when you're looking at the nutrition facts of what's on the label uncooked and you weigh it out, then when you actually cook it and you weigh it back, what you cooked off, the difference in weight, you're cooking off fat. Like, so you can actually weigh like the grease you're cooking off, and that's the saturated fat that you are cooking off there. So you can do it. That's where using MyFitnessPal has its flaws. And that's why when people say, oh, you can perfectly calculate calories, you can't, like, unless you're some sort of like, you know, machine, it makes it very, very tough. So I would use your cooked weight as like your protein of what you're using, because when it comes into that, you know, that's going to be at least full amount of protein and the leanest source you can. But you might not always find that entry into MyFitnessPal. So if you like scan your Publix meat, it's going to give you the uncooked macros for it. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So say you put in your uncooked macros and it's 25 protein, 22 fat. And once you cook it, then you actually reweigh it and you cooked off, say, 7 grams. You can go in and manually edit it then at that point and subtract 7 grams from the fat total and feel confident that like you're not like tweaking your numbers like just in your favor, you know?
Yeah, you'll notice I didn't do that.
Yeah, the only way that you're going to cook off protein weight is when you dehydrate and you actually start pulling fluid out of it. And that's why beef jerky, like 4 ounces is still like 50 grams of protein. Like it doesn't add up, but it's because like half the weight's being compressed because there's no actual water in it. But unless you're making like hockey puck burgers, like you should be good.
And they're real burgers.
Yeah, real burgers, no bean burgers. Guys, real quick, because we're going to get to our last person. I know that means everybody's going to get off real fast. Let's see if we could all just smile at the camera here real quick so we can get one good shot. And then I want to add one last thing here. All right, 1, 2, 3. And one more in case you missed it. All right, one of the things I was going to say, Marcy, if you could hold off with your recipe, because I'm going to download this. I'll upload this to the page, and then we'll put all the comments in there so anybody who missed it can see it all in one spot, because I know on the support page, like, it gets lengthy, so it gets hard to find everything that we need. Anything we can help you with this week, Marcy? Would 5:30 work for you, or are you doing great with 9 a.m.?
I did my first 5 o'clock the other day. Honestly, we don't have any kind of set schedule. I am in a totally different but similar situation that I've been hearing that we don't have the schedule. We're just super busy from morning to night. So you do what you can when you can. And I am trying to get back into the just 9 routine now that Ellie's back home. So we should be able to do that. And if not, then I have caught the 5 o'clock and I love it. I haven't even had to really do the pre-recorded ones or the recorded sign on later live, watch it live.
Yeah.
Doing what I can as far as those either 9 or for me too. It doesn't matter.
I'm going to mute one of us just so we don't have echoing barking. Sorry. There you go.
No, I was just saying 9 o'clock
guys.
The yoga before was because it was a bit towards my bedtime already.
Yeah.
But now
did that work on Thursday?
Thrown off, we're doing that too, and it's helping with the sleep at night, and it's just really awesome. So no, whatever time is good for everybody, I'll work with the 5:30, whatever.
Just hearing you talk and knowing that Ellie was in the hospital and all that stuff, like my goal for the family is like if all 3 of you, and I mean, let's throw Corey in there too, but like if you guys could hit that 26 miles a piece next week, like how cool would that be? Like how great would everybody feel? And like, to me, that's such a rebound for Ellie to go from like, you know, I guess a positive swing after being in quarantine and a hospital and everything else.
Yeah, I remember Corey's still in Montana. He's stuck out there until after.
No, I didn't realize. Oh my goodness. Okay.
That's what complicated the Saint.
Of course.
But no, he's been out since the day after Christmas.
Oh my goodness.
Out there in the snow, swabbing patients' noses in a tent. So from Florida to back to his Canadian roots. Yeah, but at least he is still working, and we can FaceTime and Zoom. He's doing all that with us. But the 3 of us, yes, I can.
That's awesome.
I can walk a little faster with Josh, and I'll be like the middleman tag team, come back.
It's a
And
great
as long
idea.
as he's moseying, I'm good with that. So
You're acting
yeah,
like it's going to be more work for you, but you have long legs, so like we're not buying any of it. But yeah, 2 strides to 1 kid, 3 strides back. I think you'll be fine.
right? Well, maybe some of my shorter friends, but no, my kids are catching up with me quickly.
True, very true. Well, I'm glad we got you on here this week. Thank you. It's I know this, like I said, we ran a little bit long on this, but that's awesome. And then we got Denise Johnson as our last one. But Marcy, I'm sure everybody like is in the same boat, but like I'm obviously we're thinking about you, praying for you. It's really seeing your kids go through this, as we know kids are struggling just in general being quarantined, I'm sure is not easy. So be strong.
My love to everyone. Honestly, so many people have reached out to me, not publicly. And I don't want to forget any names, so I'm not going to start listing names, but obviously there's been a few that I've posted about, but there's just an overwhelming support that even just saying, if, hey, did you need something, has kept me strong. So thank you guys.
Michelle, and I know what you do behind the scenes for other people, so it's also a payback to you. So what goes around comes around, so you deserve it. If you're an asshole, we wouldn't be doing anything for you. Truth.
Crack me up. All right.
Right? Denise, you're the last one. All right, let me unmute you. How are you,
Hello.
Denise?
Just peachy. How are you?
I mean, we're here.
I'm going to go really fast. 5:30 is perfect for me because I was making the 5 o'clocks, and this last week has been really difficult. It's like I could pop on at like 5:20. So this week was just really hard for that. The overnight oats, those are fabulous. I do those so much right now. It's amazing. I use almond milk. It keeps you full for a very long time. But I do have a question on that because I want to start this 96-hour acceleration jumpstart thing. I have so much paperwork from you. It is amazing. I should be.
That's so funny.
I should weigh 110 pounds for God's sake. But
You know,
I
this
don't.
was last
I eat
summer.
too much.
Yeah, that was last, I think it was like May or June that we did that. That's awesome.
I do,
though.
and I liked it. But I have a question.
Okay.
So I want to do this because I am so fat. Can you can't do the overnight oats on this, can you?
No, because you're going to remove the pasta, potato, bread, rice, like the starchy
Use
carbs for those first.
all of that. Okay, no problem.
Yeah.
Okay, that was my biggest thing.
Yeah, again, but that would be a great way to rebound out of going from, you're going to spike your metabolism. Everything's going to be digesting so quick because you're going to take away all those starches. That might be an easy way to transition and not being so hungry when you start hour 97 on,
Right.
but that might be a good first meal to come back out of things.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
Guys, anybody who's actually interested in that, I will share that on there as well. But it was like a 96-hour jump start as far as it's basically the same meal plan we always have, but it's removing pasta, potato, bread, rice. It's removing alcohol for 96 hours. I just lost some people. So there's a few ground rules. I think we started, I think, with 7 ground rules. The last time we tweaked it, it was up to like 10 ground rules. But I will post that in the same thing here.
Yeah, that's fabulous. So,
Everybody needs
but
a
it
little
was
kickstart.
great listening to everybody.
Yeah,
It's awesome seeing people, hearing people, seeing Kathy Ranus just smile at everything everybody says. Like, if she's on here crying one day, we all have to worry. Guys, I think that's kind of it. So, like, again, today you'll see a post about some little quick game night that we'll do tonight. You'll see about the marathon in 7 days. And then we have the last 2 days to get your MyFitnessPal logs up on the thread. If you missed a couple days and you kind of remember what you ate, like, no one's going to hold you to it. Like, go back, enter the best you can. The more you practice it, it's just like a muscle. So get better at it and stronger with it, and you guys will make it more routine. Anybody else want to add anything? Hands?
Quick
Kelly.
question. Where can we find chicken? Anybody know?
Guys, I'll tell you. Oh, Marianne, hold on.
Acropolis.
Acropolis. Okay, I was going to say Acropolis or Rebuild, guys. Every Monday we're getting, it's like 12 pounds of meat delivered. Again, you're going to pay a little bit more, but you're getting cooked weight of a pound, and it's like anywhere between, I think it's like $8 to $10, $7 to $10. But it's seasoned. It's like we're getting a pound of pulled pork that only has 2 or 3 grams of sugar or something per half pound. We get 8 burger patties. We get 2 pounds of ground beef and 2 pounds of chicken. One's blackened, one's citrus grilled. So, and I want to say it's $60 before a discount or something like that. But you guys all get 20% off.
Is that a la carte? Can you just do the meat?
That's all we do
Yeah,
is a la carte. We did
that's
the meals for the first like 2 years, and go ahead, Shell. I'm sorry.
yeah, I was gonna say we used to do like their already like meals that they had, and after a while, like I wanted to be in control of like my carbs and vegetables. So probably the last like 9 months, I'd say actually like when I got pregnant, we switched over and we get a delivery Monday morning, like early in the morning. It comes almost practically frozen. You can choose just either plain grilled chicken where it's unseasoned, or like I said, we get a blackened and a citrus grilled. Same thing, I think you can get ground turkey, you can get fish, but it comes in
Everything.
half-pound portions. And I mean, we really like just input our own carb and our own veggie, or I've added it into recipes already, like the cooked food. Like we had tacos last night and I added the already cooked ground beef in with like the seasoning, and it just, at least for me, and cooking I don't always love, it just speeds up that so much quicker. But it's been a godsend, and usually we haven't always gone through it, so we kind of have almost like a stockpile of meat. And
Yeah, that's
especially
what I was
now,
gonna show.
yeah, it seems like obviously there may be a meat shortage, but yeah, it's just really,
We got
it's
probably
taken
20
it.
pounds of meat in our freezer at this point. You know, one of the things that I guess somebody pointed out to me a while back, to pick up on like what Shelly was saying, but it's like your meat always takes on the flavor of your side dish, like if you're mixing things together. So it's like when you make your side fresh and you add in the cooked meat, it's not necessarily, I know some people don't like reheating meat, but like it really does, like Shelly said, like they cook it, they flash freeze it, it comes like on dry ice. So I mean, you're basically getting fresh burger, you're just reheating it or whatever. So
And I was going to say, a lot other than the burgers, we really usually put like the chicken and at least ground beef into recipes. So it's not
always,
like you're
yeah.
necessarily shoving it in a microwave. It's just being heated up with, I'm trying to think, like I make chili with the ground beef, and I make a chicken chili with the chicken breast. And so to me, I don't feel like it's really being reheated in that way, you know, so
Part of
I
the
don't
recipe.
know.
Marianne, I saw you raise your hand.
I have two things. One is when you're reheating your meat, just put a couple of drops of water on it. It keeps it nice and moist. And then the second thing was a question I had, I forgot to ask you earlier. When you have a teenager that you're trying to use MyFitnessPal with, do you still use the 50, 25, 25 and figure their calorie, you know, by 11, or is it totally different for a teen?
You ready? It depends.
Yep.
So are they trying to gain? Are they trying to maintain? Are they trying to lose? And that's where it comes into them.
Yeah, they're trying to lose.
So you're probably, yes, that would probably be about right then. For kids especially, the more fruits and vegetables you put in though, their body's just going to use it properly. Like that should be the main focus always for a kid.
Okay, thanks. Appreciate it.
And sorry.
Go ahead, Shel.
No, I just wanted to go back to the rebuilt thing. We don't get any kickback, but if you do order online, like a la carte, I believe if you put in Live Fit, you get a 15 or 20% discount.
Yeah, I'm looking
And
up
like,
now. Yeah, go ahead.
And you can even get a la carte sides. Like we were doing Brussels sprouts and asparagus before. I mean, they really, you can kind of mix and match what you want. And like I said, the biggest thing is they deliver it. You don't have to worry about going to a store if that still freaks you out. And, you know, you pay a little bit more, but you pay for convenience. And for us, it's been worth it. So
And quality too.
Yeah,
it's 20% if you get a certain dollar amount, which I'm trying to find their thing, or it's 30% up. They just started this during quarantine because like they've cut their overhead costs and some of those. I see a Zama hand up and I see a Mary Beth. Zama, go ahead.
Yeah, how far do they deliver? If I'm on County Line in Spring Hill, but
You're probably gonna be close. How close are you to Burn Boot Camp?
Oh, that's like 15 minutes in the other direction.
Okay.
Asked you?
Further north. I'm 12 minutes from you.
You're good. We were the furthest north delivery location until Burn opened, and that's another one. So they should deliver up your way, because anybody who's getting delivered to a gym, they've now had to start delivering to homes. So I'm sure they would.
And truly, their
Mary,
customer service is awesome. So even if you call and ask, right?
Yeah, you can even put in like a fake order on here, but there's a guy, Jake, who will actually contact you. He'll customize everything. He goes over food allergies. He goes over likes, dislikes, card methods.
State Farm.
Jake from State Farm. If you have a weird spot where you want your meal left, like they kept putting it in front of our doors. So every time we'd open it, we'd like knock the bag over. So like, you know, they're just good with that stuff. I mean, they're people like us. They're a smaller company. Mary Beth, go ahead. You've been so patient.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was just wondering about the oatmeal. I like stayed away from oatmeal because I thought there was like too many carbs affiliated with it.
It just has to fit your numbers. I mean, it might substitute instead of doing potatoes later on in the day. You know, you might front end your carbs in the day where you're going to use more energy, and that's where maybe like the overnight oats really helps. You know, we're always going to have a better chance of burning them earlier in the day. So like the more I've like listened to this, the more it's like got me intrigued, I guess, of trying it for myself. But
And especially
I think
if you
for
can
late
add
night
some
cravings, if you
protein
can,
to it,
yeah.
you know, it's kind of, then it will balance out a little bit.
That's actually what I was
Denise.
gonna say is I'm sorry. My the majority of what I put in it is the protein and the fruits and all of those things with just a tiny bit of actual oatmeal. So it is what a regular serve. We talked about regular serving versus reality serving, or that it ends up being more of what a true tiny little serving would be, just jam-packed full of other things though. So you get the oatmeal kind of texture in there and the flavor, but you don't get all the carbs of having it. It's how you make it. You can tweak it.
Yeah. Oh, real quick, it made me think of something too, Mary Beth. You were talking about servings and how many for like vegetables and fruits and those things. Like yesterday, Shell put cut up apples in it. I think she's done strawberries and some other things. So like some of your meals can double serve like two purposes too, getting some fruits and some vegetables together. Great point on that, Marcy, because I think everybody would have gone and made like 2 cups of oatmeal and like, you know, half scoop of protein. So probably a good message to put out there to finish. Anybody else with a hand up or anything else we want to go over? Guys, I've seen some people waving goodbye. Oh, Kathy, Ranus. All right, well, we'll see you next week, Kathy. Just kidding. Hi. Oh, no, hi, what's up?
The rebuilt. Are the vegetables already cooked? You're just heating them?
Yeah, if you look in here, they have them prepared different ways. Like the Brussels just came salt and peppered. Everything has something a little different. Like I want to say like the asparagus has like a lemon something, or just if you look on it, just go to the a la carte in the menu section.
Yeah, and I was going to say, when we were ordering the vegetables, if you have an air fryer, it was a game changer. Like we would just, especially with the Brussels sprouts, throw them in the air fryer and they would just like crisp up. We'd add our own seasonings and it was awesome. So
yeah, we were getting sliced potatoes. We were getting buffalo cauliflower. See you, Kelly. We were getting buffalo cauliflower is one of their options. We were getting sliced chunk potato, wedge potatoes, and we're getting Brussels sprouts, and they were all like awesome. But air fryer is the way to go if you don't have one.
So is it every week? Can you do it every other week?
Check with them. I'm not sure.
Me.
Your order has to be in by Thursday each week. Like if you made your order today, you would get your delivery on Thursday, but then your very next one would be like Monday if you got on a weekly schedule.
All right, I'm going to call them.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually,
and they'll
they
answer
have
most likely today.
Yeah, I was going to say they have really good customer service. So, I mean, yeah, just ask them what they can and can't do.
Yep. And then there was one other hand. Oh, no, it was Kelly saying goodbye, I think. Guys, that was impactful today. That was, I don't even know what time it is. It is 3:30 in the afternoon. For those of us that were in our pajamas to start this, now it feels a little bit like ridiculous. I'm sweating a little bit under the pits. I feel it. Guys, happy Saturday. Thanks everyone for joining us. The first timers, the Monica, Zamis, and Margaret, and Marianne, and all you guys, thank you so much. It's awesome.
Thank you for taking the time with us. I appreciate
Yes,
it.
happy Saturday. So good to see you all.
See you guys tonight in your pajamas again. Bye. Oh, the heart. See you guys.
Bye.
Oh.